What's up, YouTube? I'm Adriana.
And I'm Kane.
And we're the San Miguels. Welcome back to our channel. We are so excited you're here because today we are talking about financial wisdom.
Financial wisdom.
And you know why, you guys? Because as Christians, we're supposed to be good stewards over our finances. And something that I learned after my parents' divorce was like the number one reason people divorce is because of finances. So we've kind of tried to be very intentional in our relationship to be good stewards over our finances, although, you know, young and married doesn't always go to plan.
You make some mistakes.
Exactly. So we're going to share 4 things that we did well so far in our marriage with our finances that we might tweak a little bit, but overall did really good. And then
we're going to share 4 things that we did not do well. Steer totally clear of those 4. We'll be sure to be very clear about which section we're talking about. So that's 8 things in total that we did in our married life.
So far.
Yes. That we feel will be very helpful for you. All good stories that have sound nuggets of wisdom embedded into it.
Yes. You know, the book of Proverbs is all about wisdom, and so we're here to drop that wisdom for you today. In Jesus' name.
Of course.
All right, you guys, without further ado, let's get into it. If you can live below your means, you need to do it. You must do it. Please do it. What that looked like for us was we lived in this 1-bedroom apartment. It was not that great. We tried to decorate it and make it look cute, and it was not cutting it for me. But it was really awesome when we were able to come into higher paying jobs. I started a business and we just started growing a lot of income in a short amount of time. I think at one point we saved almost $20,000 in like a 4 to 5 month span. It was crazy. That was because our expenses were so low living in that place, and we were making so much more money than we were when we first got into it that we were able to just save. Now, what I would do if I could go back is not move out of that place because I wanted to expand my business. I would have stayed in that area or stayed in that apartment complex and just got a 2nd bedroom because it was so affordable. But when you make more money, sometimes you get lifestyle inflation. Live below your means by basically, if you got $2,000 a month to spend, you're living off of $1,000, or you are living off of one income and you're saving the other. I promise you won't regret it. The second thing was when I opened up my salon. Yes, this was a great idea. This was something that needed to happen for me to expand my business and to grow my clientele. I really need to get into a suite versus being at home because that just attracts a different clientele and you can charge different prices for the money you're investing into your skill set. But where I messed up was getting into a salon space that was above the price point I wanted to be at. I think I wanted to be around $800 max, and I ended up going around $1,300. So that just made it very stressful, in the beginning, to just make the money I needed to be able to really see those profit margins. It was a great idea. It really worked out. I was definitely making double of what I was making at home, but I should have been smart about the space that I got into to be able to really maximize my income.
All right, so I've got 2 things that I feel we did well during our financial growth and understanding over the course of our relationship. The first thing that we did was use an envelope system. This is something that we adopted in college. We would literally go to the bank, take out money, and then assign that money a specific responsibility and label it with an envelope, keep it in a safe, and only use that money when we needed it and for that specific purpose. Now, the tweak that we actually adopted was taking that envelope system and making it digital. It can be a hassle to go to the bank and take out money and only have 20s when you need that 5 or that single dollar bill. And so what we did when I got a different job and got direct deposits, I was able to set up specific amounts of direct deposits to multiple banks. And this made it easier for us to go cashless and have the benefit of being able to just use plastic, but also have the benefit of being able to transfer and easily move money around across accounts while maintaining specific categories of spending. So that's the first thing that we did. I feel that we did really well. The second thing was paying cash for cars. This is very common knowledge. I think everybody understands and knows it at this point, but it's worth reiterating for you, the viewer here. So when we came out of college, we bought a very cheap car and we paid cash for it, and it was fine. We only had one car, we shared it, we were going back and forth to our jobs, and it was doable, it was usable. It had some issues for that, but my point is this: pay cash for cars, hold on to it for as long as you can if you have the means, and be sure to continue to own and maintain that car for as long as possible. It's worth it in the long run. Cars are a depreciating asset. You don't want to have your money tied up in a car.
So now I'm gonna tell you about the dumb stuff we've done with our finances. Let's take it back to when Kane was talking about how you shouldn't finance cars. Well, when we started getting money, honey, we said, forget that crappy car, like we're about to get some new cars. We should have took our own advice then. We financed 2 cars. So I just had to have this cute little red convertible, and yes, I was cute in it too, but we went from having a $0 car payment to about $500 in car payments. To give you some perspective, we were spending about $700 in rent at that time, and now we had $500 worth of car payments. Like, why are we paying almost as much for our cars as where we live? Dumb. So we ended up getting rid of those cars, and it just was not smart, you guys. Like, we could have used that money for date nights and just invest in ourselves, to do anything we want to do, travel, but instead we used that extra money to finance some cars so we could floss on somebody, or whatever y'all calling it, stunt. I don't know. We shouldn't have did that. It's not a good decision, period. Now that takes us into when I talked to you guys about how we saved almost $20K in about 4 to 5 months because we were living below our means. Well, that lifestyle inflation was kicking our butts, okay? We moved into a brand new place that I justified so that I could have an extra room for my clients and be in a nicer area, blah, blah, blah. We ended up spending that $20K pretty much on furniture for that apartment. That is so dumb. I cannot express to you like how dumb that was. I just like nice things, and I just wanted to look like, you know, I had more than I had. And honestly, we did have more before we decided to live at our means instead of below our means. And then eventually it became above our means. So I say that to say, don't be like us. Don't finance things. Pay cash and stay in your broke car. Period.
All right, so to close the loop on the things that we definitely should not have done, we're gonna go back to some of our car trouble history and whatnot. So to make a long story short, as Adriana mentioned, we had financed a couple of cars. Not a good decision. Eventually, we ended up getting out of those cars, trying to get back to our principles, trying to save money, live below our means. We got out of those cars. We were able to save up about $5,000 to buy a car in cash, in full, ready to go. It was great. It was a hybrid. It was super fuel efficient. Loved that car. But the point that I want to make here is that you have to have car insurance, but we got the minimum liability car insurance for that particular car at the time. We intended to get full coverage, but it wasn't in our means. We couldn't afford that part in our budget. And 60 days after we purchased that car, just a couple of months later, we got into a very, very bad car accident. It was totally my fault. I was falling asleep at the wheel, drifted off the highway into this median area, didn't hit anybody, but our car was totaled. And because we had saved up that money and we spent that money and we didn't have anything else in reserves, and because we didn't have full car coverage, full car insurance coverage, we didn't have any way to purchase another car in cash after that car was totaled. So our hand was forced and we had to finance. And if we would have had full car insurance coverage, the story would have been totally different. So learn from that story for sure. And lastly, this is probably the most important piece. This is a huge principle that I think has guided us and has informed the ups and downs in our lives. And this is what you should not do, which is stop tithing. So in our 20s and early in our marriage, we had a lot of ups and downs in our finances. And we also tithed up and down. Sometimes we were tithing, sometimes we weren't. But this is a godly principle. And by not giving God 10% of our income, we're effectively stealing from God. And that played out consequentially in our lives. Today, we are faithful tithers, and we've seen that transformation in our lives. And we couldn't be happier with the trajectory that we're going in believing God and giving Him what He's owed. And so those are the final 2 points in terms of things you should not do. Don't get basic car insurance, get full car coverage, and do not stop tithing. If you are a believer, you owe God that 10%. It's important, and by doing that, God will bless you and He will show favor on your life.
All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed some of our tragic stories. But before we leave, I want to leave you with this verse. It says in Luke 16:10, "One who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much." And we really believe that, and that God is going to continue to bless our family with more and your family with more as we learn to be good financial stewards over what we currently have, and to continue to learn and have good wisdom from the things that we've done in the past so that we don't perpetuate those same things in the future. So, I'm grateful that we've been through those things early in life so that we can not make those same mistakes as we get older in life.
Absolutely. So we hope you got value out of this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. What did you think of our stories? Do you have any advice for us? Be sure to leave those comments down below. And until next time, everybody, be blessed and don't stress.
Don't stress. Bye.
All right, see ya.